Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're going to take a quick look at Rndr, and once again, I hope you're having an amazing day. And just before we jump in there, we look at Bitcoin as well, just to ensure we understand kind of what's going on. It's kind of trending really close to about 50,000, and that is essentially a resistance channel, though. Keep that in mind. 50,000 is proven to be, holding the price action lower. Also note we were not considered bullish until we're over 52,300. Okay, so there's a few things we need to do in this regard. We want to celebrate the small stuff, of course, but we don't want to kind of get ahead of ourselves. This doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin is back on track completely. We got a lot of road work ahead of us this week, especially with Tuesday. There's a lot of news that's going to occur this week, so just be aware of that. Try to dollar cost average the best you can at this point in time. Don't go all in just yet. All right, so just remember that. Now, looking at Rndr, just before we do, I want you to know, not a financial advisor, just love teaching people how to trade. Been trading for a long time, over 15 years, and my goal is to help you become a better trader. Okay, so simply put, that's why I created this channel. That's why I created my trading community. Link in the description below for that if you're interested in kind of a leg up and becoming a better trader. Check that out in your own time. But I do actually send out signals for every single trade that I take as well. So it's kind of a nice little hybrid, though. Really awesome situation. We're going to roll it with a website here soon to make it a little bit more robust. Now, moving on to Rndr here, looking at the one-day chart, let's go ahead and look at the moving averages. We can see the price kind of sort of bounced off the 50-day SIP moving average. Yes, it dropped below, but that support level there at about $3.80 kind of held. So that's really good news because that was previously the all-time high before it took off even further. So that's a really good sign to see that because that's likely the bottom at this point. So all good stuff there in that sense. 380 is a nice bottom for Rndr. We can see the price peaking up over 50 right now. That is a good sign. Granted, this one-day candlestick hasn't closed yet, but if we can get that to close over $4.75, we'll be in really, really good shape. Furthermore, let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart. We're up over the 50 and under the 200. That's excellent. We like to see that. That could imply that we have a nice little bullish increase here coming up soon, right? In other words, when we see the price, the 50 intersect with the 200 in upward fashion, that's considered a golden cross, and that helps a lot in regards to pushing the price action higher. So that's a positive thing as well. And we're also under 70, but over 50 on the RSI on the 4-hour. Love to see this because the fact that under 70 is a perfect place to be on the 4-hour chart, based on the simple fact that it's not considered overbought. It's right in the bullish zone, if you will, and that's the right time to take entry. In other words, you want to take entry when the bulls are in control, not when the bears are in control, right? You never want to chase the bottom either. Yes, it makes sense that you should have bought the dip, right? Hypothetically, that's always sensible, but it's not really the best way to go because if that wasn't the bottom, then you would have been out of luck, so to speak, right? Always try to join in when the momentum is moving the way that you want, okay? I know it seems weird. It's not like you're FOMOing in at all, but you want to go ahead and get in when the bulls are in control, not the inverse. Speaking of which, take a look here. We can see a 9 on TD sequential, so we are at a point of potential exhaustion. So keep in mind that the price should consolidate sideways, likely hopefully hold above this support level here, and just continue to progress sideways. Right? We want to see that because a nice little healthy continuation to the side would be good before it legs up again. Okay, because if it continues to push up much further, just say it goes up like this and we get a few more like that, it's going to be in extreme overtime and essentially kind of becoming overexhausted, and the likelihood of it coming crashing back down is fairly high. So again, in order to avoid a significant retracement, we want the price to consolidate and kind of go sideways and do some nice a nice breathing room right now because the bears need to take their profits, right? We can't forget about them. They're going to be the ones to essentially average the price out, if you will. Okay, so all good stuff there in that sense. I like what I see here so far. Let's go ahead and move on to the 1 hour and see where we're at for the Ichimoku cloud. And we can see right now that it's doing really good. Rndr's good. In other words, we got the lagging span trailing behind. It's not intersecting with the price action at all. The conversion line is higher than the baseline, and we're obviously over the cloud. So these are all great things here. Ultimately, this is essentially a good sign to either add to your position or just hold your position open. Not saying that you want to open a position right now and just take it to the upside because there's no guarantees in that, right? In other words, don't go all in. You're going to hear me say dollar cost average a lot if you're new to the channel because right now, until Bitcoin kind of figures itself out, we don't want to just put all our eggs in one basket, right? Now, granted, if you think Rndr is a token for you, go ahead and leave it there. That's perfectly fine. There's no worries there. But if you're just kind of swing trading, you're dabbling a lot of little things here and there, put a little bit more in here, of course, if you want. It's not going to be any trouble because big picture, Rndr's got some strong potential. It's done very well in the past, proven to be very good. And I think at this point, we're looking, at a position where you can comfortably add to your position because I believe the bottom is in. Based on how well it bottomed out here at about $3.80, we shouldn't expect to see it go much lower than that, right? Again, that's the sentiment there. And then of course the cloud is telling us it's comfortable and safe to keep your position open. All right, once again, keep your position open, not take an all-in position, right? Because again, we are a bit on the exhausted side here in a sense, right? Because if we look at TD sequential, we can see we hit that 9 previously. Yes, we got a slight period of consolidation and we're at a 6 now. That means we really only have about 3 hours worth left of bullish momentum, okay? So hypothetically, we might see 3 to 7 hours worth of continuation of the upside. But if all goes well, I'd much rather see the price go straight sideways for another 24 hours and then leg up. That would be the best case scenario. So ultimately, that's kind of where we're at there for Rndr. I think it's in really good shape. I do think long term it's going to break its all-time high within the next couple months. It might even happen a lot sooner than that. I'm just very conservative myself in my trading style, so I like to give you realistic estimates. But yeah, $8.81 I think is very realistic still, based on how well it did and how well it recovered. One last thing I want to look at is just the volume profile and see, ever since it started retracing, what that looks like. So ever since the price came down, we saw the largest amount of volume accumulation about 644. So just be mindful of the fact that 650-ish, right in that range, could be a pretty strong resistance zone when it comes up there. Because volume has a tendency of working as a resistance, not a support. And in this current retracement, that will be the only hurdle to overcome, minus the obvious Fibonacci retracement levels at 475 and 572. So that's kind of where we're at. We'll go ahead and take another look at this again soon, but I do want to thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you learned a thing or two here today. Comment below if you did. Feel free to join my trading community as well if you are considering a leg up and becoming a better trader. I'm really looking forward to this next season here with the near future coming up because there's going to be some awesome stuff. And even, bear markets, you can make a tremendous amount. You just got to be careful and cautious and identify what's going on. We're not there yet. Just letting you know in the future, it's going to be okay. All right. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Thank you.